of the people who you may feel really were in some way culpable for failing to act, whether it's Boutros Ghali or Kofi Annan or senior American officials, I'm wondering if there have been times when you personally have actually sat down with them and gotten a sense of whether or not they were fully penetrated by this at all in the sense that you were.
Well, I did it. I was able to feel that with the bad guys because I testified in the International Tribunal and would have loved to put a few more in jail.
Yeah.
But
they were only penetrated by the recognition that they were about to go to jail.
Yeah, yeah, and going to jail in the countries that don't really have the best of conditions. That side. The other side that's a very perspicacious point because it was only last April that the Holocaust Museum in Washington and Global Peace got together and had a meeting in Den Haag where 54 of the players who were there in Rwanda at the time actually met, from Iqbal Riza through the ambassadors who were sitting in Security Council, ambassadors in the field, military, the politicos back in their country, who were part of the administrations, the journalists who were on the ground and around. And it's the first time that we actually, in an open forum, we brought it home. I've never been able to meet President Clinton, and no matter what he's written in his book, I think one day it's important that he tell me, as many members of the administration have said, that they undermined the mission. They didn't want to get back in there. They had Somalia and Mogadishu and Black Hawk Down. The last thing, military and politically, they want to do is get in there.
Samantha Power's book makes that utterly clear.
Yeah, but never even tried to. I hold Boutros Ghali in high contempt of emasculating the Secretariat from being able to give the Security Council what it needed to
He's never taken any responsibility for this that I know of. I mean, Kofi to some extent has. Boutros Ghali has not.
And Kofi has written in his book too, but I've never met Boutros Ghali, ever, even when I was in command. And so there's been a number of them. I contend that as much the ones who tried to undermine the mission, to those who didn't really get engaged, to those who even indirectly aided and abetted the civil war come genocide. Most of them have never attempted to bring that argument forward and face some of us who are on the ground.
Right.
And I think that in itself is a sign that they either are trying to avoid it or they're trying to rewrite history, as we've seen a few, and being held accountable for that, thank God. So I still wait for the day to meet President Clinton, and just we don't need a long conversation, just a short one would go a long way in assuaging my personal guilt of failure of command in the field, because the mission ultimately failed.